Hello everybody, I'm Hacklebeast and I'm casting more Gambit Cup action. Today's matchup is going to be GT Michael versus IFU Hyuk. We have a PVZ on ground zero. Michael is the yellow Zerg. And Hyuk is the purple Terran. This again is Twitch TV Gambit Cup action, sponsored by Twitch TV, Nerbopolis, and Prowler. Thank you guys so much. So, Michael shouldn't have any issues with this. He's really good. Hyuk isn't so good. That's gonna be something. That's gonna be something that's initially confusing. You have to remember that Hyuk is now not the Zerg. Hyuk is in fact the Terran player. But I'm kind of torn on this map. I think it's pretty even because being really open, I would almost want to say that it's better for certain races during certain times in the matchup. When Michael's trying to go for lots of surrounds with Zerglings and trying to get flanks off in the middle of the map, he definitely is going to appreciate it being open. But at the same time, he's going to not appreciate it being open when he has to cast 5 swarms, when in other maps you'd only have to cast 2. So, Michael with the overpull? Yeah, it looks like an overpull. Gonna be getting those Zerglings out pretty quickly, and that drone's gonna be setting down the expansion, I believe. Unless it's scouting. Nope, it will be going for the expansion after blocking the ramp. Meanwhile, Hyuk getting his first barracks, so most likely a 1 Rax FE, considering he hasn't thrown down the reactor yet. It could be for a 2nd Rax, but that's rather unlikely. Especially against a player like Michael. Michael is not at all a greedy type Zerg that you would be able to punish with opening with a 2 Rax super aggressive build. You know Michael's gonna always have units out on the field. Anyway, first 6 Zerglings not going to try to stop the SCV in there. Just going to head directly for Hyuk's base. Although he has not yet discovered where Hyuk is, he's only scouted out 1 location, so he's going to go in the wrong direction at first. He's going to give Hyuk enough time to get out 1, maybe even 2 more Marines? I think the 3rd Marine will be produced, but not actually over there. But he needs to be careful here because those Marines are completely out in the open. A bunker hasn't even been started. There's not a good space to micro them. And these Zerglings might be able to do a lot more damage than they really should. Now the Marines are pulling back. Good reaction by him to get to the ramp before anything bad happens. But now he doesn't need to worry about keeping this command center alive. And oh no, the Zerglings, very nice. Good to get the surround on the Marines, taking out all 3 of them instantly. And now the SCVs are fighting alone. There's nothing else he can do. He has to just accept these SCV losses until another Marine comes out. And Michael striking first blood in this matchup. And oh no, is he not protecting the Marine again? Oh, I thought for a second that Michael was going to be able to do it. He's still looking around, and nope, he's going to run right into the base. Passes by a Marine. Double backs for a second. Maybe he thought about taking it out, but he didn't have quite the reaction time he needed to get the surround after being that far in. And now there are 3 Zerglings in Hyuk's base. It means that these Marines are going to need to be pulled, and well, he's going to take out even another Marine. Good damage for Michael so far. Hyuk has finished his command center, but he still really doesn't have many defenses out here. If Michael was to continue to press the issue, but nope, Michael's going to just stick with those initial 6 Zerglings and now move into a fast 3-hatch Mutalisk. I like it. Hyuk's SCV was killed during that process by this Zergling. So he needs to send another one down. It's probably going to get in unless he pulls something immediately to block the ramp, although I don't really see that happening. But he's not going to see anything too spectacular. It's just the 3-hatch Mutalisk build that he would be expecting. And the lair is almost finished. Needs just a little bit more time, then the spire will be thrown down. Meanwhile, what is Hyuk doing? Hyuk, still with the bare minimum. He is behind economically. He did lose some mining time and lost about 3 SCVs, I want to say. 3 or 4, along with the Marines. So he's now throwing down another barracks. It looks like he's going to be going for standard Marine play. But he's going to have a harder time than normal. Michael's Mutalisks are nothing to shirk off. And he's going to have to deal with it with having lost some Marines already, having lost some SCVs already. We'll see what he's able to do. There is a bunker thrown down. It means that Michael's really not going to be able to do too much. He might be able to go for a run-by. But I think that these Zerglings are just going to be doing a lot more watching than they are actual damage. Yeah, especially with that fire bat. Yeah, there's no way that they're going to be able to do anything else. And I say that, are they going to be able to get an SCV? Yes, they do. Nice move by Michael. He's going to get the SCV, and he's going to be able to run around the backside, up the ramp, and is going to get the scout off. He sees the 3rd racks being thrown down. He knows that his opponent doing the standard stuff. And more Zerglings running in. Hyuk evacuated his bunker when trying to chase down those initial 2 Zerglings, and it allowed the other Zerglings to come up from behind. They're not going to be able to do any damage. But Michael is really showing off his good control this game. And his knowledge of exactly how his opponent's going to react. Now, Stim is done. Range has not been started yet. He really should. He has enough money for it, and the Mutalisks are getting close. Yes, the Mutalisks are just now hatching, and he's not going to have range. There's range just started now, and range is the longer upgrade of the 2. I'm pretty sure it's the longer upgrade of the 2. It seems like it's longer. But range won't be finished when the Mutalisks arrive. So what is Hyuk going to do? He's throwing down a 2nd bunker in the mineral line. That's more to prevent more Zerglings, but it should be able to do something against the Mutalisks. The turrets in between the main and the natural are just... No! One of them does not quite finish in time. He's going to need to bring another SCV to finish that off. And, oh man, he is very turret unsaturated at this point. He's really going to need some very nice control with the Marines. How much longer till range is done? Range still has a little bit more to go, so he should be fine to hold off just long enough for that to finish, and that's going to help a lot. Michael once again trying to prevent those turrets from being constructed in between the main and the natural. I think that he does have an opening back here. There's only 1 turret constructed. The 2nd one's being constructed now. Here comes Michael up behind the natural. There's an opening back here too. Only 2 turrets are firing at the Mutalisks. It's kind of worth them to just eat the shots while taking out SCVs. And that's what he's doing. He put a couple of Marines in the bunker. That bunker gives the Marines a little bit extra range, allowing them to hit the Mutalisks. And now the Mutalisks are going to back off. But Michael has killed a lot of SCVs this game. He's now expanded to a 3rd. He's looking very strong as he gets his Queen's Nest and will be getting a fast hive. It looks like Hyuk's getting ready to go up, make his first move. He has a pretty decent composition, but he doesn't even have +1 for them. So they're not that strong. And Michael has skipped Lurker Tech. Oh, never mind, he hasn't skipped Lurker Tech. The first Lurkers are on their way. Excuse me. Oh, snipes the fire bat. Now, Hyuk's in a difficult position. He really does need to make something happen. He can't afford to just let Michael continue to whittle away his economy and do absolutely no damage at all. But on the flip side, he has to really worry about a backstab or a surround when crossing such an open map. We'll see what he's able to do. Michael's forces are moving into position. You can see them on the mini-map. And here they go. Lurkers are going to get there just in time to stop the Marines. Oh, and the Marines are just going to run through it. He's not A-moving. Oh, he normal moved through all the units, did not get a single Zerg kill, and lost his only attacking force. It wasn't that much to begin with, but that was all he had. And now, this is looking like a very scary attack from Michael. He might even be able to break this. The bunkers are not filled, and there are no medics at all with this force. Let's see what he's able to do. Bringing the lurkers up, he didn't number them until just now. Wait, something wrong with the stream? Something might be wrong with the stream, but I'm gonna watch Michael for now. How much farther until Defiler Tech? Because once he gets Defiler... Ooh, he's not going for Defiler Tech. Well, he is going for Defiler Tech, but he's also going for a Greater Spire, interestingly enough. And that Greater Spire is going to be very effective. Just park the Guardians up here. Oh, he really just doesn't have anything to deal with it. He does have a starport up, so he'll be able to build a Wraith, but those are going to do so much damage to him, and he's only on 2 bases now. Stream's fine. Okay, cool. And how much longer is it? Oh, Greater Spire has finished. The Guardians are morphing. He still has his initial 9 Mutalisks. That's rather impressive. He didn't lose a single one of them. And once those Guardians finish, he's just going to be able to aim move, distract Hyuk, force him to pull what Marines he has to try to defend, and then this force from the right, along with these new Speedlings, are just going to crush him. He even has Scourge to deal with a Science Vessel or with a Wraith that comes out. And Foryuk's going to try to move out. Immediately pulls back now that the Guardians are out. And the Guardians are just going to wreak havoc. Turrets aren't in range. And there's really nothing Foryuk can do here. He realizes that he's surrounded and there are so many Speedlings. They're not upgraded Speedlings, but in this case it's not going to matter. And now... Foryuk's units are almost trapped between the wave of Lurkerling and the wave of Guardians in the back. There's not much he can do. He did baiting a couple of the Lings out. And the Guardians are now going to stop attacking the natural. There's not exactly a lot left to attack, but they can just A-move through this. There isn't enough anti-air to deal with the Guardians, much less the other units. And Hyuk, GG's. Michael takes game 1 for Team GT. Alright, next rep. I did turn on. Yeah, I turned on the local recording. Nice. Okay. I think I can cast one more game before getting a water, but I'm going to need to... I'm going to need to take a break after casting this one. But let's go on to game number 2. GT versus IFU. Who will IFU send out next? We have IFU Oxzerg. IFU Oxzerg versus GT's Michael. Oxzerg is the blue Zerg, Michael is the purple Zerg, and the map is Tau Cross. Interesting. Michael is scouting in the quote... Wait. No, excuse me. Oxzerg is scouting in the quote-unquote wrong direction. Because in ZVZ, you're supposed to scout towards your opponent's natural in almost all situations. But Oxzerg is not going to the closer natural, which would be at the unoccupied base, but he's scouting in the wrong direction towards the closer main, which is going to turn out to be the right direction. So, a lucky guess for Oxzerg, unless there's a specific reason he has his overflow scouting in the wrong direction. It's not as if Oxzerg doesn't know what Tau Cross is. He's certainly been around long enough. Anyway, Michael has thrown down the 9 pool, getting 9 pool speed. Oxzerg also thrown down a 9 pool. Or excuse me, it was an overpool. One with the overpool. So Oxzerg has a very small advantage, but almost negligible going through for the rest of the game. Is Oxzerg going for an overpool and then expand? Which is a bit peculiar. He's going for a build that's going to delay his gas a long time. Which either means that he's going to get out his Mutalisks much later, or, much more likely, he's just going to have his speed much behind Michael's. This could be a problem. Not only do Speedlings allow you to get better positions on your opponent, but Speedlings actually do have slightly more attacking power. And slightly more attacking power in a ZVZ is ridiculous. Well, we'll see what Oxzerg's able to do. He does have more money, so he should be able to produce more Lings, especially considering that he has the extra hatchery. But that is if he can keep the extra hatchery alive. First clash in the map, Oxzerg sees that Michael is bringing more Lings than he has at the moment. And it looks like just about even numbers. How much longer until his speed finishes? Michael still has a little bit of time. I think he'd be best off just delaying himself. Oh no, he's going in for the attack now. Oxzerg with a very nice angle, and Michael's going to pull back. I think Michael should just buy a little bit more time and wait for speed to finish before engaging. There it is, speed has finished now. So Michael needs to wait for a few more Lings before he can go for another attack, as Oxzerg does have the advantage. And the hatchery has finished now. Zerglings, nice move by Michael. Almost exactly what he did in the TVZ. He's gonna do in the ZVZ and run around the Nexus / Command Center / hatchery. That didn't come out right at all. All right. This is a very dangerous position for Oxzerg. He needs to keep his drone safe. He can't even afford to lose a single one. And now Michael's really just going to put the pressure on and attack the hatchery, causing a division in Oxzerg's attention. It's a really hard position for him to be in. And is this going to be a surround from Michael? Yes, he's going to go in for a surround. More Lings popping for Oxzerg. And now Michael has linked up his forces. He's winning these engagements, and it's not looking terribly good for Oxzerg at this point. I want to see what tech they have, but we need a break in the action. All right. Neither. Oh man, Oxzerg hasn't started his lair, and Michael is already halfway done with a spire. And Oxzerg is about to lose the hatchery. It only has 200 health, 150, 50, and it's gone. That might just seal the deal for Oxzerg. He's now behind in pretty much every way. He needs to make something really amazing happen at this point. And Oxzerg really can't afford these trades. He's not losing too much during it, but he needs to make something happen, and he needs Zerglings to do so. Did he send two Zerglings down here? I thought he did. Apparently he didn't. Anyway, he's using money to build a creep colony, but he doesn't need to use his money on creep colonies. He doesn't need to use it on sunken colonies. He needs it for spores, but he doesn't even have the evolution chamber yet. So this is bad. Behind by 4 supply, and how close are we to Mutalisks? The Spire is done, and he has a lot of money. I don't know why Michael's not making Mutalisks, but it kind of doesn't matter. He could just win with Lings if he really wanted to. Now throwing down an evolution chamber. Are the Mutalisks on the way now? Yes, they are. And the Mutalisks can be able to get there before the spore colony finishes. It looks like. Alright, Spore colony's been started, but the first two Mutalisks are on the way. I don't think that they can quite... No, they're not going to be able to kill the Spore colony before it finishes, but the Spore colony doesn't cover the entire base. They can range the spawning pool, certainly range the extractor. And the Mutalisks are going to make it so that they can win every engagement between the Zerglings. Eventually, Michael will make enough Mutalisks that he'll be able to overpower the one Spore colony. Nice move by Michael, just being really safe. He knows that the only way Oxurg is going to be able to get back in this is to sneak some Lings out and do some damage in the drone line, but he's made a completely tight wall here, so there's no way for Oxurg to break out. And once he engages like this, Michael can just bring back his Mutalisks. Yep, pretty bad position for Oxurg. He did throw down another Spore colony, so he really is safe from the Mutalisks in that regard, but he's not making any progress. In fact, if Michael just hold positions the Mutalisks here, he'll be fine. He could try to go find that other Overlord, but it looks like that's what he's doing. He's fanning out two Mutalisks just to scout out. Oxurg. Psst, Oxurg. Don't admit you were being BM. There's no proof of that unless you say it in chat. Shh. I probably should. Alright, speeding this up. He's building a hatchery in his base. Gonna lose some Zergling battles. Making more Spore colonies. Losing more Zerglings. There we go. Now he has enough Mutalisks to kill Spore colonies, so we can just kill everything. And the Zerglings are just going to make that even easier. G from Oxurg. And Michael's going to take game 2. Alright, so Michael's looking pretty beastly at this point. Is somebody from IFU going to be able to step up? Well, apparently it's Eon Zerg's turn. Because that was the replay I just received. It says Eon Zerg on it. And here we go. So, IFU Eon Zerg. Oh, sweet, he's a blue Zerg. Michael will be the white Zerg. The map is Icarus, and they are in close positions, making Zerglings possibly even more deadly than they were last game. Now, both players are scouting in the wrong direction. Well, they're not scouting towards each other. This time Michael is the player who is now not scouting towards his opponent's... scouting towards his opponent's natural. Interesting. I wonder if it has to do with the really close air positions on this map. Because you might be able to get you would be able to get to your opponent's main in the time that on another map would take you to get to your opponent's natural. And getting to the main does give you more information. Especially when when the difference is you get to a natural and there's nothing there. Then you don't know if your opponent's just not there, or if your opponent went for a 9 pool. Ooh, and Michael's going for a 9 pool of his own, which I think does lead into what he was trying to do. He's just going to scout the closest main, because that's the only way he knows whether his opponent's there or not. And he wants to attack them. He really doesn't care what the build is. Whatever it is, he's just going to send 6 Zerglings at it. Unless it was a 4 pool, but just any reasonable build. Meanwhile, Eon Zerg's going for Eon Zerg's going for the 12th pool. So a little bit more of an advantage than what Oxzerg had. And Eon Zerg, is he gonna scout cross? Huh. Both overlords are going towards this base, and I'm not sure how he deduced that. He isn't sending this overlord up, which is what I would expect from him. Huh. Well, it's gonna work out for him. I mean, they're both heading towards the right direction. Not that he really needs two overlords, but... Anyway, Michael doing the exact same build as last time. His speed has started. His Zerglings are on the way. He hasn't quite found his opponent yet. And he's going to find this overlord with this one, but he won't really know whether his opponent is cross or not. Judging by this, he doesn't know if this is the second overlord that just spawned and is moving out, or whether it's the first overlord and has changed directions. I believe that he could, based on the angle, he might be able to figure it out. No, he won't. He's gonna go cross. So, attacking in the wrong direction. Once he gets up there, he'll realize that he made a mistake and head back. But Eon Zerg, if he wasn't gonna be ready before, he's certainly gonna be ready now. And ooh, Eon Zerg going for the in-base hatchery 12 pool. Alright, this build does not let you have the gas necessary to constantly pump out Mutalisks off of two bases, because you need two geysers to do that. But it lets you get out a large number of Zerglings with your sizable number of Mutalisks. And then you kind of tie the other person on the Mutalisk front and overwhelm them with Zerglings. Because when you build Zerglings, you force your opponent to build Zerglings, and when you're doing that, you're forcing them to waste larvae. And larvae that Michael won't have with just a 9 pool. But let's see what Michael can do here. He got 2 Zerglings up the ramp. That's really big for him, and he's gonna pull back. Didn't quite have it, but that could have been very bad for Eon Zerg. Doing some patrol. All right. Eon Zerg's dancing back and forth. Spire on the way for Eon Zerg. How much faster is Michael's? Ooh, Eon Zerg actually has the faster Spire. He has the faster Spire because he skipped speed. So Michael's Zerglings do have an advantage, but Eon Zerg has just enough, and with the ramp, it really won't make a difference. Alright. This is pretty much playing out exactly as Eon Zerg would want. He now has a good number, he has a sizable Zergling lead, and he's going to have equal number of Mutalisks, because both of their Spires are going to finish at the same time. They should have equal drones as well. I count 8 and 3 in gas, compared to 8 and 3 in gas. So yeah, Eon Zerg has the advantage in pretty much every way, except for the fact that his speed hasn't quite finished, but that's about to go away. And here comes Eon Zerg to break out. And he's going to be able to push Michael back really far. Now, this is what he wants. He wants to force Michael to spend a lot of his larvae on Zerglings instead of the Mutalisks. And Michael's going to use first 2 to build Mutalisks because they're better than Zerglings out front. But I'm not exactly sure how he plans to stop this. He doesn't have a lot of forces, and I think that if Eon Zerg went for the hatchery, he'd force a cancel on it. Ooh, Michael hasn't thrown down a colony in his base. Ooh, he does have the Mutalisk out. Was he just hoping that the Mutalisk would act as a sunken colony? I think that's what he was going for. But he's still going to lose a lot of drones in the process. All the drones are fleeing away now. He's going to try to micro them around, let the Mutalisk get off as much damage as possible. But now the Zerglings are targeting the Spire. They won't be able to get it down. But, well, maybe they will. He's funneling in more Zerglings. And this is the power of the Hyuk build to just spam the Zerglings. And now Michael's lost most of his economy, and he doesn't have a Mutalisk advantage compared to Eon Zerg. Scourge went after the wrong Mutalisk. There was one Mutalisk that wasn't being microed and all alone. But no, didn't see that one. Yeah. Even number of Mutalisks, and Eon Zerg has an economy compared to Michael, who doesn't. So it looks like Eon Zerg's gonna be able to take this one. There we go. I was going to say, it's a little bit of a mistake by Michael. He had 3 guys on gas and 2 guys on minerals. And while gas is very important in this matchup, you shouldn't actually have more drones on gas than you do on minerals. But there's not much Michael can do at this point other than use every single bit of his resource on just Mutalisks. And Eon Zerg's going to be able to make more. Along with the Zerglings that are just going to force Michael to stay home. Ooh. How did he see that? I don't know how those Mutalisks knew that the Zerglings were coming. I don't think that Overlord wasn't... Was it? That's weird. Anyway, Michael now down to only 3 drones. It's canceling Larva. And here comes the attack from Michael. It's all going to come down to this for him. He needs to win it, but Eon Zerg has a good number of Scourge. The Scourge are getting hits. And Michael is going to have to pull back, and GG. Eon Zerg preventing the Michael all kill. Very good game. Alright. Boom. I assume you guys can hear the Skype sounds, but that is the sound of the next replay being sent to me. Ooh! Well, I'm excited now. Boom. If you didn't read that replay name, it said GT Semi versus Eon Zerg. Oh man, how good is Semi nowadays? He hasn't been really active lately. Alright, oh, we have IFU Eon Zerg as the yellow Zerg. And we have GT Semi as the white Protoss, and the map is Chain Reaction. I want to make sure I capitalized Semi's name correctly. Indeed I did. Oh man, I'm excited to see what Semi can do. I really am. So, Ooh. I wonder if this is a symptom of not being terribly active lately, but that's not the place you normally put the pylon. Normally you, Protosses have been building their wall a bit more forward than that. I don't think he can place a building to make this tight at the top. Can you put a gateway here and then forge here? But then there's still a huge opening at the bottom. So, Semi won't be walling the quote-unquote correct way. Which I wouldn't say is a huge problem, except for the fact that he's playing Eon Zerg, who's a player who likes busts, be they Zergling or the Hydralisk variety. So I'm a little bit worried for Semi right now. I mean, he's certainly not a game-breaking decision, but I'm a little bit on edge for him. Anyway, I was excited to see Semi's name when looking at the list of qualifiers for people entering in ISL 3. I now can't remember off the top of my head who he's playing against, but he was playing in a pretty good group. So, win or lose here, we'll be able to see his relative strength come tomorrow. Alright. Well, okay, by putting the forge here and the gateway here, there's still a pretty big gap here, but not a horribly big gap. I guess there's enough room for cannons. Alright. We'll see how this works out for him. Right! Semi's playing Zaraki in the same group as Choosy. So there's some pretty good talent in that group. Oh, and Sail's in that group. Can't leave him out. He's like the 4 in Horang too. Or so I've been told. And Dodie, who isn't the most amazing player, but he's, I'd say, top half of the people qualifying. Or the people who entered the qualifier. So, not a slouch. Alright, so Semi only going for one cannon, and Eonzurg isn't going to pressure him initially, so good choice by him. Going to be able to get out the slightly faster Stargate, slightly faster everything else. And here comes Eonzurg. I don't know if you quite call that a hidden hatchery, but clearly this is where your third is supposed to go. And Eonzurg's putting it over to the right. I think this is not so much a hidden hatchery, more as a closer to my opponent's base so I can funnel in Hydralisk's faster hatchery. He's already thrown down his Hydralisk den, skipping Lair for now, getting Hydralisk speed. So I think we're going to see a bust. Stargate is on the way, and Citadel's on the way. He didn't delay the Citadel. So if he goes for immediate Templar Archives after that, he might be able to get High Templars just in the nick of time. And High Templars are what really just shut down Hydralisk busts. You will get to see Sail play tomorrow when I cast his set. I don't know the order of what I'm casting, but I know that is one group I will be casting. So assuming that Sail beats Dodie, I will cast Sail's game versus either Zaraki or Semi. Anyway, looks like it looks like Semi's not going to be going for a faster Archives, which is a shame. He's now throwing down 2 more cannons. Where's that Corsair? There's a Corsair. Not going to scout, and that might end up costing him because he's not going to see the Hydralisk bust coming. And Eonzurg has already started to rally in Hydralisk. How much longer until range is done? Range just started, so there's a little bit of time. Killing off the Overlords will slow down Eonzurg a bit. Eonzurg is not going to have this huge plethora of Overlords. He's just going to be keeping right at the limit. And now here comes the start of the bust. The Hydralisks are going to be able to easily snipe, range the gateway. They could range the forge. And ooh, two Zealots just walk right by. Did Semi mean to do that? Because I think they're just going to get picked off pretty easily. Eonzurg shouldn't lose a Hydra. Okay, he's going to lose a Hydra. He's going to lose 2 Hydralisks. That probably should not have happened, but I guess it is. Eonzurg's still able to hit this forge if he wants to. He probably should. Templar Archive Storm is now being researched. He has only a single gateway at the moment. Making 2 more gateways now. Getting out a Dark Templar. Where is the nearest Overlord? There's the nearest Overlord. And these Corsairs are starting to do some good damage. 3 kills already. And this Overlord is going to be the only Overlord that could detect a DT. So if the Overlords are able to snipe it, which is looking pretty likely right now, if those Overlords, or if the Corsairs change direction just a little bit, but the first DT is going to go directly towards his opponent, trying to sneak around the top, but Eonzurg having a couple Overlords in good position. But killing that Overlord means that Eonzurg isn't going to have detection in that area for a while, so the bust is really just not going to work. It looks like Eonzurg's going to try to break down the back. And he can kill those temples quickly, but there's stacks, so it's still going to take a while. Semi has realized that that's coming. He's building a bunch of cannons up at the top, but that's not even really the issue. 1 DT can kind of shut that down. Although he's not making a DT, I'm kind of surprised. There's no speed overlords. Anyway, it looks like Eon Zerg realized that was probably a bad idea to try to take out all the temples. And well, he's trying to mine away the minerals, but he didn't bring enough drones. You do need 6 drones? It appears you need 6 drones to mine that out. So, Templar out. Storm should be... Yep, Storm is done. So he'll have Storm and cannons in the back, and it's a pretty bad choke. That's like exactly how big a Storm is. So it's going to be hard for him. But he has taken down all the temples, so going to kill a Zergling and then go for it. And here comes the attack. Cannons are going to go down pretty quickly, and here comes the Storm. Very nice Storm, and the Hydralisks are going to be forced to back off because there's more Storms behind that. Right? There we go. There's the next Storm. These Hydralisks are taking a lot of damage. There's not a lot of fighting power in back. This DT has 6 kills now. And Eon Zerg's not looking in a... Oh. Bad expansion. GG. Did Eon Zerg not know about the close expansion? I thought he did that just because he wanted to make Hydra busting better. Well, for whatever the reason, Semi wins his first game and takes it within 1. So whoever IFU sends out next has to win 3 in a row versus GT, and GT has a really stacked roster. Alright. So, going into game number 5 of GT versus IFU. This is Twitch TV Gambit Cup, sponsored by Twitch TV, Herbopolis, and Prowler. And for the final match, one second. All right. So for the final match, we have, excuse me, not for the final match, for IFU's final player, not necessarily the final match, we have IFU Must versus GT Semi. Must. Boom. One second. Sorry, I'm getting this right. Ah, damn. And nope, that was the right color. Wow, am I doing this badly? There we go. Alright, so, PvP on Gladiator. I just assumed Semi was brown, because that was the other color I saw down there. But no, Semi is blue. So, PvP on Gladiator, they will be in close positions. And this is yet another map with a reverse ramp. Reverse ramps can really dictate a PvP because it's so hard to fight up there. You need Reavers, essentially. And when you have Reavers, your opponent tends to have Reavers. And Reavers at the top of a high ground is not fun to deal with. So, it's Jade? Oh, whoops. My bad. Thank you for pointing that out. It is Jade, a different Twilight tile set with reverse ramp maps that is used in this that are used in the Gambit Cup. Thank you for pointing that out. Excuse me. Wait, did he really? No, that wasn't. That was an anti-Manor Pylon. I thought that I thought for a second that Must tried to pop Manor Pylon, but he put it in the wrong location. But no. Anyway, both players going for tech first. They have their simulators up. Excuse me. Both players got Zealot first, but Semi hasn't scouted yet. He's only just scouting now. So Must could kill this probe. Nope, not gonna see that. Must could have prevented the probe from getting into the base, but well, he still might. No, he's not gonna quite get there in time. The probe is going to at least be able to see it. For how long he lives, yet to be determined. And the first goon is out for. Well, first goon's out for Semi. And there it is for Must. So the probes won't live too much longer. Alright. So, still mirroring builds. Semi got one of his gateways built just a little bit faster, but he isn't producing anything out of it right now. So, not gonna make a difference. Both players with 2 Zealots, 1 Dragoon. And I believe both players got the scouting probe. Ooh, no. Looks like Must got away with his scouting probe. I'll see if I can find it. Apparently I cannot find it. Darn. Anyway, we'll have to see what tech both players go for. It's getting to be a little bit too late to go for fast Reavers. So I imagine both players will be getting obs first if they go Robo, and I wouldn't be surprised to see both players skip Reavers entirely and just go straight for the Templar. Templar do tend to be more effective in a later game sense, and it doesn't look like either player looks too keen on attacking at this point. Semi is starting to move out now, and with exact even numbers, it's just going to come down to the angle of attack and the micro of each player. Here it comes. One of Must's Zealots is way in the back, and the Dragoons aren't in a really good position. But he's starting to micro his goons around now, pulling back the injured goons. 1 goon down, 1 Zealot down. And boom, second Zealot down, second goon down. And now it's 2 Zealots versus 2 goons, so Semi will be able to win this battle, but Must, with 2 extra reinforcement goons, is going to be able to clean that up. Semi now had 2 more goons of his own, so it's just going to be a little bit of a back and forth here as each player's reinforcements arrive. Oh, but Must has now lost the high ground. Semi takes a really big advantage at this point, as Must now needs some kind of tech unit to get out. He really won't be able to do it with just Dragoons, especially with Semi bringing in more of his own. He does have a pylon out here that he snuck. It could be used creatively to build a gateway out here if he really feels that he's going to be trapped for a long time. But no, he reveals the probes here, throws down this pylon. He should cancel it because there's nothing he can do with it anymore. And this pylon is now just sitting out there too for if Semi ever discovers it. Why aren't you canceling that? Okay. Here comes Must for the break. Maybe he was trying to use the pylon as a diversion to distract those 2 goons, because he was able to re-break up the ramp using Zealots to tank a lot of the shots. Ooh, Semi... I feel like Semi squandered that advantage. Maybe that was Must's plan after all, to keep those goons distracted, because otherwise the 2 goons would have joined up with the rest of them, and maybe that battle would have gone differently. So, Must hanging out at Semi's third at the moment. By coming in from this angle, you don't have to deal deal with coming up from the low ground, but at the same time, you do kind of have to deal with coming through a choke. So neither attack angle is optimal, but I guess this angle is going to be a little bit better for Must. But Semi going to push the issue and attack Must. Must not in the best of positions, and he's going to lose his entire force now. He's a couple units coming in from the back, but Semi just has more stuff. And Must trying to get out of there with the last goon. It looks like he is going to retreat with those 4 goons, but he lost a lot more than he took out. And Must with the Dragoon run by. Getting a Dragoon into Semi's base. Is it actually going to be able to... Okay, I thought for a second it's going to kill something. Anyway, Reaver on the way. Shuttle out. Nope, not going to get a probe. Shuttle out. Reaver just finished. And what kind of tech does Must have? Must has no tech. He's going for an expansion and threw down another gateway behind this. So it's 2 gates versus 4. And Semi really needs to do damage with this Reaver. With the Reaver. There it is. Going to wait for the second Reaver to finish before moving out. But as things are standing, he's allowed his opponent to get the expansion, and his opponent's going to have a lot more gateway units. And the overwhelming number of gateway units won't matter initially if you keep both your Reavers alive, but once your opponent gets tech as well, it's going to start to come into play. Now, both Reavers are finished. The shuttle is moving out. Similar goon numbers for the moment, but Must is going to be able to build a lot more. He does have a nice position shooting down from the high ground. Let's see what Semi can do with his shuttle. If he loses this shuttle, it's game over for him. But doing some good micro so far, putting his Reavers in the correct position. He's trying to work his way up, but that high ground disadvantage is taking a real toll on Semi at this point. But the Reavers did enough damage that it's still going to force Must back, and now Must no longer has the high ground, so those units are going to die. If he had held his ground, maybe he would have done a little bit better. It's unclear at the moment. Takes out the probe as well. The shuttle took some significant damage, the Reaver took some significant damage, but neither one was killed. The other Reaver perfectly intact. And now, these Reavers are going to be attacking the pulled probes. The probes have surrounded the Reavers, and still didn't manage to get any of them. Reaver micro versus probes, not good, and it looks like Semi's just going to be able to win with tech. Must got a little bit too greedy with his Nexus. Now Semi moving down to the low ground. He's running out of Dragoon numbers, but he still hasn't lost a single Reaver. And I think, yeah, that's going to just be enough. Semi takes it. And Semi seals the clan war, looking pretty impressive. Very nice job. Very nice job. So, next, we have the match that everybody was clamoring for at the beginning. We have NB, capital NB, Terror, forgot the R. NB Terror versus LRM Bakker U. Boom. Let's do this. Continue. Create. Terror versus Bakker U. Alright.